What's going on, guys? I'm actually doing something a little bit new today. I'm gonna do my top 10 kayak fishing accessories for offshore fishing. So, jet flying over. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not the most experienced offshore fisherman. I will start out by saying that, but I do a ton of research and I've been fishing for a long time now, especially saltwater. I've been doing for the past like 3 years or something like that. I'm really excited to get into some offshore fishing and have a kayak dedicated to that and understand that the list is not all inclusive. It's not a one-stop shop. Everybody's going to have their own opinions on, what goes in here and what doesn't, and what's useful and what's useless and all that stuff. So that's fine. This is my list, and these are the things that I picked, and I'm actually going to be taking them out for the first time tomorrow. They're catching freaking blackfin tuna right off Navarre right now, and I want to get in on that. They're also catching bonita, which I want to stock up for shark fishing and stuff. So really excited to get out there. Plus, they put up such a fight. I'm just freaking pumped. So excited to do this video, and I'm gonna start running you through this stuff. The first thing is going to be a flag. Might seem obvious or underrated. Yak Attack does an awesome one. This is their 52-inch flag that it goes on the T-track of the Hobie, and it just slides right in. That way, it's highly visible. One of the biggest things, which you'll see, I have the yellow kayak. It's their seagrass. You want to be visible out there. That's one of the big things for your safety. Being cautious when you're offshore, especially if you're alone, is one of the most important things. All these other things are like, my preference or something I want or whatever. There's certain things that we're going to go over that you've got to have out there, and this is one of them. Put that price down below. That way you guys have that, and I'll put links to all this stuff down below in the description. So the second thing is going to be a way to keep your bait alive. These are awesome. They're an easy way to pull bait alongside you. They've got those perforated holes in it, so that way you can just slap your bait in there. They run right along beside you, and you can keep those alive. There's obviously the Hobie Live Well and like a bait bucket that I use out on the beach. This is an easy thing that I can just toss in and take with me, and then I just literally strap it to the side with like, I don't know, 550 cord or something like that, and it just runs along beside me. Hasn't given me any issues yet. My critique to it would be that this doesn't latch super well. I've never had an issue where I've lost bait from it yet, but I could definitely see that happening. So that's my critique. But again, these are like 40 bucks or something. I try to be as cost effective as I can, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to spend a ton, but I want to get the best bang for my buck. And this is one of those things. So next, as far as safety goes, this is a PFD. So this is a self-inflating one. Over at Bass Pro, they sell these PFDs that are freaking awesome. Super light to go on, which my thought is, yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but you're not like weighed down by these things, because if you've sat out there with the already inflated ones, I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them up there. So, your typical flotation devices, and these are so much more comfortable because they weigh like a pound. You don't notice them there really, and those things, when they're strapped in and they're on you tight like they're supposed to be, you're getting hot out there, and it's so uncomfortable, and you end up taking it off or whatever, which is obviously not the point of it. So this was actually really cheap, relatively speaking. So if you go into Bass Pro, they don't sell these anymore. If you go onto their site, which again, I'll put a link there, you can buy these for like 50 bucks cheaper than what they're selling in the store, and they don't even have this size. This is a beefier size because I'm about 220 pounds. I'm 6'5". These will keep you, afloat and, make sure that you're safe. So This is actually made, it's really weird. So Rogue, if anybody, watching lifts or anything, obviously you know what Rogue is. So this is Rogue Fishing. I don't honestly know if they're affiliated or not. These are super cool. So what these are is they're a strap that you drop it through, stays nice and snug on there. So you just put it around like that. And then this thing is going to attach, it's obviously a carabiner. It's going to attach to wherever you want it to on your kayak, which is going to keep it from, like, if you drop it into the water, this is going to keep it safe. So I always use one of these, and I just throw it in my little side compartment here. And I know that it's safe. I don't have to worry about it falling into the water, because fun story, when I was up in South Dakota, we were stationed at Ellsworth, and I dropped my phone, an iPhone, whatever, down an ice fishing hole, like a freaking, little ice fishing hole. It slid across and went bloop right down in. And I am so paranoid ever since then, because I could see that thing down at the bottom of the lake for like 20 minutes until it freaking died. This is going to be one of the most important things that you have out there. A freaking fish finder is priceless out there. Being able to identify structure and balls of bait and other fish that might be hanging out down there, snapper hanging out on structure down there, and trying to GPS to these points and stuff. I've went out there and I've just had to follow people around because I don't know where the hell I'm at, and I don't know if I'm on structure or not, because you can't see anything down there. So it's not like you're bridge fishing or inshore fishing or anything like that, where you can see it and you can go over and fish it. Out there, it just all looks the same, and you don't know if you're on a number that holds fish or not. And if you are, you can pin it on your map. That way you can go back there the next day or the next week or month or next year at the same time of year, and be able to do that stuff. So this is the one that I was actually looking, this is the 54 CV. There's a 53 CV, which is like your lakes and inshore stuff, those maps. And then your 54 is saltwater. So that's going to be your oceans and stuff like that. So if you're fishing offshore, you need to try to get the 54. Not to say that a 53 won't, do anything for you, but if you're going with Garmin, pay attention to that and make sure that it comes with a transducer. That way you're set up and ready to go, and you can put all that stuff in there. It's a pretty good size. I was actually looking to get the size up from this. It's the 74. But this is the 54, so it's a 5-inch screen. This was about $300 less than 2 inches bigger. You'll hopefully see another video of me hooking this whole setup up and running it, which will bring me to my next piece that actually kind of goes hand in hand with this, is a power source. So if you're going to be running a fish finder, you need a way to power it, obviously. So I was doing a ton of research, and give me 1 second. This is what I came from. I've never really had a fish finder that I used, because the one that I had didn't really work. It was a Simrad, and the transducer and stuff went bad or whatever on it, and I just never replaced it because I didn't need it for inshore. But this is what I had. This is 12 pounds. This thing is freaking heavy. Also not waterproof. So you've not only got to buy the battery, but you've got to buy something that's waterproof to put it in, or you should at least. And then running your wires to it, you've got to be able to drill holes into that and seal it up. And it's kind of a project. You could probably save like $30 or something doing it that way. If you do it all right and everything, and you don't go super cheap with it, you could probably save like $30 doing it that way. Or you can go with Bixby, which this has pretty much the same power as what this does. This is like 2 pounds. It's a little over 2 pounds. It's crazy. And this is fully waterproof. It's awesome. It's got the ports for plugging straight into your transducer, and then it's got a little USB there too. And you can run, like, I'm gonna hook my GoPro up to it and all that stuff. So I can run my GoPro and my fish finder off a waterproof battery. Like, It's freaking awesome. And then they have cords that go to it, which these are all like waterproof cords and everything. So they literally screw onto the top to keep that seal good and make sure that, you know, like as much as you can control, it's waterproof. So that it protects your electronics. Highly suggest this. Do your research, but this is what I found is my best option. You hear horror stories of people losing their pedal drives out in the water. This is a hook to hook onto your pedal drive. So it'll strap over and then hook over into the side. There's a little hole on the side of your drive, and this will make sure that it stays connected to like one of these T-bars or H-bars, whatever they're calling them. These are cheap. They're again, I can't remember prices, so but I do know that they're fairly cheap. That is wire that's in there. It's all like plastic, and then the wire is encased. So these things are going to last for freaking ever. Definitely worth the investment. You're going to need a side-mounted rod holder, and I suggest this one. I love this one. It's actually really big. Let's get it out of this casing here. It has the T-track or H-track, whatever they call it, for the Hobies, and a lot of your fishing kayaks have it. But this is essentially just going to mount on the side here. That way you have obviously a way to put your rod when you're, you know, messing with a fish or you want to troll. You could put that on the side. These are heavy duty. They're so nice because you can put your bigger rods here too. So if you've got a like thicker grip on there, but these are super nice from Yak Attack. These are the ones that I would definitely suggest. There are some cheaper ones out there again, and those will work just fine most of the time. But if you're going to pick one, this is the one that I pick. All right, next is going to be a way to keep your, you know, fish cool. Look at all that. Look at all that freaking room in there. This particular size fits right on the front of your kayak really well, so it doesn't hang over one way or the other. I have a couple refreezable pouches that I throw in here, and then whatever ice I've got in the fridge, I throw that in here, zip it up. It's good for pretty much my whole fishing trip, you know, 4 to 6 hours or whatever I'm out there for. And this is kind of a must-have if you're going to keep fish. This is the Yak Attack Black Pack Pro. This thing is awesome. You might be able to see some of the picture there. It's essentially a kayak crate, so you can keep all your stuff in the back of your kayak, and it has rod holders built in. It's fairly lightweight. You'll see that it has all these holes through it and everything, so if you get water up in it, it doesn't keep it. So on the rod holders, it also comes with a little hook on each one of the 6 rod holders that it has that hooks around your pole. So if you did happen to get like flipped, or you're casting and it, you know, catches a pole behind you, you don't just fling it out into the ocean. Look really forward to using this thing. Last but not least is a way to get down to the water. It's a fairly inexpensive way to get your kayak down there. So it just folds out like that, and your kayak will sit up on top and adjust to your kayak, and then you just roll it along. There's these other straps that go around the top, and they just ratchet down, so that way everything's on there nice and secure. This thing's got some work out of it. You do have to watch though with any of your beach tires. Don't overinflate them, because if you can kind of see, these are fairly squishy. If you overinflate them, they will deform, and I ended up having one cart that was like super wobbly as I was walking with it, and one of them had deformed, and I didn't know any better. And thankfully the company sent me a new tire, but I was looking into it, and that's what happened, is I overinflated it and it deformed it. So you've got to be very cautious of that. They're supposed to be fairly deflated. All right, guys, so that's really all I've got. I went over all this stuff. It's all piled here because I'm about to put it on this kayak, and I'll probably make a video out of putting the fish finder on and, you know, that process and everything. But everything else I'm just gonna, you know, throw on where it goes. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you in the next one.